son who grew up to be the governor of Massachusetts. Yes, that is young Michael Dukakis. And joining us today is the governor himself and his mother, Euterpe Dukakis. Mrs. Dukakis, welcome to you. Governor, glad you're here this morning.
Good to be here.
Saluting Mother's Day, what a more natural combination to have than the two of you. Can you share a few secrets with us, though? What was the governor like when he was a little boy? Did you know that he was going to grow up to do great things?
I knew that. I knew it very, very well.
What was it about him?
Well, he was a very dear little boy, first of all. He was very lovable, very bright, of course, and very intelligent, and he just was, that's all.
What was it, Governor, as you were growing up, that you were closest to with your mother? What sort of qualities in her did you find yourself emulating?
Interesting question, Tim. In a political sense, I mean, thinking back, although I'm not sure I was aware of it at the time, my mother was the more liberal of my parents. I mean, my dad was a pretty conservative guy who had kind of made it on his own. Both of my folks had been born abroad and came over, and he was a wonderful guy and a great father and a great doctor and a very human person, but very conservative politically. My mother was a little more liberal, a little more progressive, and I think in a political sense that probably rubbed off on me. Not only that, but her side of the family was much more political. I can remember political debates around the Sunday dinner table when we'd visit with her side of the family that were pretty loud and pretty wild, and that usually didn't happen with my dad's side. So.
Do you get involved with your son's political leanings now? Do you still have political discussions?
Oh, yes, we discuss. I ask him everything that is in the press or on TV that sounds a little different to me. I said, Michael, that's what they said. That's what they wrote. Now, what about it?
Very troubled about criticism. She'll call me up and say, gee, that was a tough column. I mean, what's going on here? But my mother campaigned for me this past time, Tim, for the first time. My dad had passed away in 1979, and until then, they had been very supportive, but my mother had never really been out on the campaign trail, and she was out 5-6 days a week, and I must have inherited it because she's the best campaigner in America. She's terrific.
What's the relationship like between the two of you today? Do you talk daily, or you see each other weekly?
He calls me every day, whether it's early in the morning or late at night, he calls me.
Sometimes more than once. And then we try to, we're either at my mother's house or she's at ours, and the kids love going up there. I mean, ever since I can remember, our children have loved staying overnight with Yaya, which is Greek for grandmother, and it's a great relationship, Tim.
Here we see you with your mother. We just handed up you with your mother on the front step of the family home. Were there traditions around Mother's Day that you would always follow that you still keep up?
Well, our house is a kind of a dual sort of life. We kept up with the Greek customs, and we kept up with the American customs, and also in the life in America. For instance, take Easter. It's still one of those holidays that are the movable holidays. Once every 4 years, it happens that both our church and the Western churches celebrate Easter at the same time. In between, there's a difference. You never know when it's going to be, a week or days or 2-3 weeks. Last year it was in May 4th, which was a long way ahead of the Western. So what did we do for Easter with the Western churches? We had different colored, various colors of eggs. With the Greek Easter, we had red eggs only, and the Easter bread. That's the Greek. And we'd have lamb for the Greek Easter, and also have. They never cared for ham very much, and so we'd have beef or something else.
We celebrated Mother's Day.
We did everything.
And will you be doing that again this Sunday?
Yeah, and we'll be at my mother's house. But I've kind of the last few years have gotten into I guess it's a custom now, I don't know. I will buy a rose for my mother and a rose for Kitty, and I plant one in our garden and one in my mother's garden. So on Mother's Day morning, I go to my mother's house and I plant that year's Mother's Day rose, and I'll be doing that again on Sunday.
Let me ask you this, Governor. When you're with your mother, is she still mothering you? Can she say, Michael, go change your shirt?
Yeah, she does that occasionally.
Oh, come on, Michael, I don't. I may straighten out your tie.
Well, we're delighted that you were able to join us this morning to help us celebrate Mother's Day on behalf of all the mothers in Massachusetts and all over the country. And Mrs. Dukakis, it's a pleasure to meet you.